What is going on, guys? My name is Jeff and this is Broken Paddock. Today we're going to be doing the oil change on the Raptor, so let me go ahead and drag all the oil type stuff out there and we'll knock it out really quick. So I got everything I needed. I've got the oil filter wrench, a couple of funnels, I've got the drain bucket, and 7 quarts of the Mobil 1 truck and SUV high mileage type stuff, and the matching Mobil 1 extended performance oil filter. So I'm going to get everything open and we'll get started. Good news is the oil filter is right there. Super easy to get to from underneath. Alright, and the tools I need pretty much are gonna be, besides the oil filter wrench, is gonna be a 16 mil socket and a T40, I believe. Yep, T40, in order to get this drain, the little access panel off, and then the plug should be right there, and it's got a drain tray and everything, so that makes it really cool. So I'm gonna get this off before I put the drain pan underneath. Alright, so what the access panel gives you access to is this drip tray here, which sits below the oil filter. So that's what that's gonna be. So I have access to that now. I've already opened the oil cap. Now I'm gonna loosen the 16 mil that's right about there. So let me go ahead and get that loosened and get this oil out of here. Alright, managed to get the drain plug out. I've got oil over my hands, so we're going to go ahead and grab a rag. It's draining right now. Hopefully not all over my driveway. Can't see it because it's dark, but well, it's good. So we're going to let it finish draining. I'm going to clean up the plug, clean up everywhere where it goes. So I was able to get all of the oil off of my hands, got the bolt cleaned. So we do have the bolt. It is the 16 mil, it sits on the back of the oil pan. First thing I tried to do was loosen one of the skid plates, so I had to make sure to tighten that back up, and I noticed that when the socket was the wrong size. So other than that, all of the threads look good, so I always want to check that. Doesn't look like any cross threading or anything like that. It feel good. So I'm going to go ahead and get this back in so I can go ahead and loosen the oil filter with hopefully the oil wrench if need be. Last time I was able to do it by hand, that I did it and did it again, I was able to do it by hand. When the dealership did it, I had to use the wrench and really struggle with it because they over tightened it. So let me go ahead and get this back in so I can move the drain pan and clean up a little bit down there to get the oil filter off. We have the oil bolt back in the oil pan. So what we're going to do is I'm going to climb up on the engine bay. I'm going to try to reach down there and see if I can untwist this from the top rather than having to get it from the bottom and get oil all over me. So we do have the oil cap still loose. So let me hop up here and see if I can grab that out. I managed to get it loose from the top side and then went underneath to finish removing it, and the oil filter there. So it's the M1210A by Mobil 1. It's extended performance, good for 20,000. I think I've got maybe 5,000, maybe 10,000 on this oil change at most. I think I did it 165, and again it's at 170 right now. So kind of keeping them at the 10,000 miles. So we're good there. This is just dribbled a little bit, but waiting for it to finish dribbling and then get this in the box so I can take all these back to O'Reilly's to turn them in. Alright, here's the new one. It looks like they did change the logo. Extended performance, it is the M1210A. Looks like they just created a smaller logo rather than being around the whole way around. And they changed it, it's gold rather than green. But nice and simple. The first thing we are going to do before we put it on is we are going to oil up this with the old oil, or you can always stick your finger in the new oil. Just make sure there's a little bit of oil on that to create that good seal, and it goes on hand tight. You don't need to over crank these, so you don't need to use a screwdriver or a different type of wrench in order to get them off. So I'm going to go ahead and add my little bit of oil and clean up the rest of underneath the car, and then I'll show you guys the oil as soon as I'm done. So looking from the top side, that's the oil drip from the oil filter, and then we have the drain plate, and about here is where we gotta put that plate back on. So I've already got that plate all bolted up. Makes it nice and real easy access on the truck. Besides the fact it's already lifted up, oil's still golden. Doesn't look bad. I know I was kind of fast forwarding this oil change to make sure that I was good and where I was supposed to be, and we got about the amount of oil out of it that we were supposed to, so I have no problem adding all 7 quarts. I know there's more than that listed there, but I do have maybe just over 7 quarts because one of those is one that I already used. The cool thing is this is one of the easier oil changes. This thing, not as easy for the oil change. There's also no oil pan on the Porsche, so it makes it a little bit different with doing that. So it's just kind of a drain, and let's see if I can get this to readjust. Drain and then refill with no actual oil pan. I've got dirt all over me and you know whatnot. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. We're gonna go ahead and top it off with the oil, and then I can go ahead and cook dinner. So let's bring the oil pan and stuff in and get the oil added to the motor. And then we are gonna store the old oil filter in the box just so it doesn't get all over the place. We also are going to drain that again now that it's all settled. So I can go ahead and add this to the box. And then take that to O'Reilly's as soon as I have a chance. I gotta add it to the other one because I don't think I ever took the other one over. So the other one's right there, and you can see how that one's got all the green logo, and this is this new like gold honeycomb. It's the same on the actual box, or same on the actual filter. So let's go ahead and go back over here. Go ahead, kick the creeper out of the way. Good news is, it's gonna be right here. They want 520, I'm adding 530. They didn't really have 520 in the Mobile One truck. So we'll wipe that down a little bit, but I'm gonna go ahead and top this off. Nope, we got all the oil in, and we got the cap all straightened out. It does have some dots on it from other stuff, so it was wrecked. So, but it is on and ready to go. I do need to clean the engine bay quite a bit. As you can tell, this is quite dusty. Got power steering fluid on this one. So one of these days I'll spray it down with some degreaser and hit it with the pressure washer that I've got. Get this all cleaned up with our Corsa performance intake. But the last thing I like to do after all the oil's in, just look underneath and make sure nothing's leaking. So we'll go ahead and let that sit, come back out in a little bit and double check it. Alright guys, we came back out, double checked it after dinner, so no leaks still, so we should be good to go with the oil change. And it's pretty much going to wrap up this video. It's been, again, I think 10,000-ish miles since I've done it. I think it's been a little less because I wanted to make sure I got this on like the 10,000 mile interval just to make it easier to remember when they're due. But knock the oil change out and we're good to go. I'll catch you guys in the next video.